What's good, everyone? OJ here. Welcome back to another video. Today we've got some awesome information to go over, but before we get into that, please make sure you hit that like button and also subscribe if you are someone new, because we drop daily gaming videos and also have live streams regularly. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get right into the big news that we have here, guys, with the Nintendo Switch and other platforms as well. And that is starting off with the Sonic team, the new Sonic 2022 game. It looks like the information on this game has been leaked out with the direction. Now, fans were excited that the new Sonic game was being announced and it's coming out next year, and they announced the platforms, but we don't have an actual theme for the game. We don't have a title for the game. We don't really know much. However, based off of what Sega had to say and a leak that was posted about half a year ago, it looks like we got some more information about this game, what the title is going to be, and more. So apparently this game is going to be called Sonic Rangers. Now, in the files for the Sonic 2022 4K trailer, it shows the name Sonic Rangers. You guys are seeing it right here. Now, why is that relevant, and how does that say what this game is going to be and how it compares to another big game that we're going to talk about? Well, back in January of 2021, there was someone who made an anonymous post that talked about the game Sonic Rangers and what you could expect in that game and how it's going to take a Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild approach. So very interesting there. Open world Sonic game with some RPG elements, which is funny because I talked about that in my recent video in terms of what they should do with the next Sonic game. But anyway, let's get into this anonymous post about the game. So this person claims to have done some focus testing for the next Sonic game, and this was done once again back in January of 2021. This post was then. So he said he did some focus testing. He calls the game Sonic Rangers, and he says that it's an open world adventure which takes heavy inspiration from the Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. Did 2 demos, a 20-minute long exploration of the open world, and final boss. Now, I won't go over the final boss, guys, but I will go over the style of the game just so we can kind of understand what that is based off of this rumor slash leak. Now, it's an open world that's populated by small enemies, puzzles, and platforming challenges. Completing puzzles, challenges, enemies rewards experience points, which can be redeemed in a skill tree. Skill tree unlocks abilities like the spin cycle, where you hold Y, Sonic starts tracing a line behind him, and if you finish the circle, it attacks all enemies inside the circle. The lock-on attack returns. There are bosses spread throughout the open world. Defeating them grants orbs. If you get enough orbs, you can go to a portal and go to cyberspace. Now, cyberspace is a bit different here because the levels are generation style and the music goes really hard. So that's really good to see. So some classic Sonic where you're kind of just going through, whether it's like 3D going in or even 2D style there. I think that's very good if they're going to split this game up that way. Now, he also has more to say here. Beating them fast enough grants Chaos Emeralds. Exploration and combat was super boring, very button mashy, but whatever. New voice acting by Roger, and no one else was present, so they're definitely sticking to the general theme at least. Now, once again, he talks about the boss battle stuff, but I'm not going to go over that. And if this is the case, if this is the next Sonic game in terms of what they're doing, I think it kind of fits with that trailer. It kind of fits with, I think, the natural evolution of what a Sonic game needs to be if they want to sell this to more of a bigger audience. I know that they have the general Sonic base down, and you can just make like a 2D Sonic game or just a standard color style 3D Sonic game, and people will generally buy that. But I do think that if they do want to expand this to be even bigger, I think this is probably the route that they have to go. Mix in some action adventure elements also with classic 2D Sonic and classic 3D Sonic as well. So I'm interested in seeing how this works. Hopefully the gameplay when it comes to the physical melee attacks and the open world stuff gets fleshed out and is very good. It's easy to kind of just make an open world game. Well, I wouldn't say it's easy, but we see so many open world games that are being done, and sometimes it's not always fleshed out. So hopefully the Sonic team gonna put together some great ideas, but I do like the direction and style if this is what they're going to do with the game. So very interesting. I'm excited. I'm definitely going to pick it up on the Nintendo Switch and also on Xbox or PlayStation or whatever. We still need to wait and see how it plays and how the frame rate is and how everything is, but I'm pretty sure I'm going to want to play this game portably, so I'll pick it up on the Nintendo Switch. And there's obviously the rumors about the next, Nintendo Switch or the Nintendo Switch Revision, Nintendo Switch Pro, whatever. So maybe you get it on there and it runs better, whatever the case is, if that turns out to be correct. or maybe you just get it on whatever platform you want. So we'll have to wait and see on that. There's still quite a bit of time before the game does drop, because it's coming out next year and we don't even have a month for the game, or even a quarter or a time window. It's just 2022. We just have the year, so we'll see how it all works out. But what are your thoughts on this new Sonic game, Sonic Rangers, open world, Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wildish? Is it something that excites you or interests you, or is it like a wait and see type of approach? Because, you know, Sonic Team and Sega and all that. Well, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. All right, and moving on to the next topic here, guys, I have to admit something. I was completely wrong. I was completely wrong when it comes to some of my thoughts on the HD 2D engine and other games outside of Octopath Traveler, outside of the main Team Asano games that we get, right? Project Triangle Strategy and all that, using this engine. I was somewhat wrong. I was saying that I don't want to see a bunch of games, Octopath and all of that, and I still hold to a bit of that, which we'll get to in just a bit, because I have people hitting me up on DMs, have people hitting me up on Twitter and asking me, well, what do you think about this game? They're my live streams. What do you think about this game now that this game is out? So if you don't know the news, I'll let you in first here. So Dragon Quest III HD 2D remake. Yes, it's the Octopath style, and yes, I was wrong on it. It would be cool if we saw a bit more. And I'm terribly sorry to all the people I opposed when it comes to this. But once again, I'll explain myself when it comes to some of the games you guys are asking me about or telling me should be in this style. However, I do think that now that we've seen with Dragon Quest III HD 2D remake, which is in that Unreal Engine 4 HD 2D thing that they're doing with Octopath and Project Triangle Strategy, now that we've seen Dragon Quest, a game that isn't an original IP, a game that's in there, and see how it looks and what they've done with the camera work and how they've made the battles, how it's unique or authentic to what the game or what you would expect to see in there. I feel that I was wrong on the reach, on the diversity that they can do with this art style without feeling played out after, you know, a couple games here, right? Because it's been 2018, now we're in 2021. We've already had 2 games, or at least 2 games that use this style with Octopath Traveler and also Project Triangle Strategy. I'm afraid that there might be some burnout with it if there's constantly games being made every single year or every couple of years. But after seeing Dragon Quest III HD 2D remake, I think I was wrong on that. And it definitely seems like they can take this engine, they can take this gameplay and what they've done with it, they can tinker around with it, they can change the camera angles, they can make it to where it feels fresh and it feels natural within a classic game. It really does. And the whole thing about me saying I don't want everything Octopath almost kind of just left. Now, let me make sure that I'm clear. I want to be 100% clear. There are certain games that I feel don't need this treatment. I don't think Chrono Trigger needs this treatment. Now, will I buy it if Chrono Trigger comes out and it looks like this and they do something and they make it interesting? Would I buy the game? Absolutely, I would buy the game. Would I be hyped for it? Sure, I'd be hyped for it. But it would be nice if Chrono Trigger got a little bit more respect, just a little bit more, because Chrono Trigger was the creme de la creme when it comes to what Square Enix was trying to do in the mid-90s with a AAA or a large budget RPG. It had a dream team, and I feel that it deserves a little bit more of a remake in terms of them going in, if they're going to do it, or a brand new Chrono Trigger game built with the Octopath engine, if they want to do that. Or they can go in the Chrono Cross route and just kind of make a new Chrono game with modern graphics and everything. Like, there's a lot of ways they can go. I just don't want to see every single game all of a sudden become Octopath, right? But I will say this, there are a number of games that I think that if they can do it to the point to where it can get it out faster, easier, cheaper, and it still looks amazing, and they can make it look fresh, like how they have the battle system kind of tilted and look like Golden Sun, then it goes into first person when they're attacking. If they can make everything look different like that and add those little wrinkles in, I'm down for it. The thing that I was kind of scared of is everything kind of like Octopath, right? Everything kind of like that, and I shouldn't have been kind of tunnel visioned on that, because Project Triangle Strategy has its own type of flair too, with some Octopath stuff in there obviously, but it has its own flair as well. So if they can take this and they can apply it to other classic RPGs that Square Enix has, I think that this could be something very special, not only for Square Enix, but even if they wanted to collaborate with another developer to get something like this done. Now, it's not likely since it's proprietary, and I doubt that Square Enix is going to let a bunch of other developers use it, but if there was something else, right, that they can do, maybe a different RPG that's classic, that's old school, that they can bring back in this, I think that that would be much appreciated from fans too. But Dragon Quest III is a great first start. and they talked about there being even more of them, Dragon Quest 2, Dragon Quest 1. I think that this is a good thing. This is definitely not something that's a bad thing. So I wanted to just say, you know what, I was somewhat wrong on my original synopsis of what's going on here, because after seeing this, I see that they are far more creative and they are great at what they do. And as long as they can kind of put that time and effort into making it look fresh despite using the same art style and the same type of HD 2D engine and what they're doing there with Unreal Engine 4, I'm all down for it. I just don't want to see like the super classics and the games that I think deserve a bit more, like Final Fantasy VI and Chrono Trigger. All of those just all look the same. So as long as they can make them look fresh and great, then okay. But if it starts getting to the point where we start getting them all the time and it becomes a little bit of repetitiveness from this, then that's when I'd still have a problem. But after seeing this, I think that these guys know what they're doing and they're gonna pick their games wisely. So I'm down to see more of them if they can make it fresh, which it definitely seems like they're going to be doing that. All right, and finishing up for the last topic here, I know you guys have heard this and we have just played this story out to death. I've talked about it, but we got to discuss the recent news on the Nintendo Switch Pro, because there has been a brand new listing on Amazon Mexico that says new Nintendo Switch Pro. I have the links, everything's all listed there. Now there's a couple things to note with this. One, this is probably not the name of the system. Some people are saying, oh, they're gonna go back with the new moniker and all that. It's probably not going to be. Even if they did, it still wouldn't matter at all. It'd still sell like crazy. New Nintendo 3DS sold extremely well, so that didn't really affect the sales too much when it comes down to it. But that's beside the point. That doesn't matter. What matters here is the fact that there's actually another listing for a new model Switch or something like that. But I highly doubt Nintendo would call it the new Nintendo Switch Pro. You know, like that's just too much. Something at the beginning and something at the end. That's just something Nintendo does not do. But once again, there is a listing for it. I'll have a link for you guys, description below, but you guys are seeing the actual like listing on Amazon Mexico right here. Now, there has been multiple reports. Eurogamer has backed up a report about what was going on. Emily Rogers talked about it. Takahashi Mochizuki talked about it as well on Bloomberg. Now we've got Eurogamer. That is a lot of people backing up the reports of this newer model Nintendo Switch that could be announced more sooner than later. Now, the little bit of extra news here is that apparently there's some developers that want to show off their Nintendo Switch Pro or new model Switch games at E3 2021. So Nintendo's kind of put in a position to where they kind of have to talk about it before E3, because the developer is going to want to announce their game for the system, because it's like going to be time pretty soon here, because apparently this thing is launching this year. Now, I will have a full separate video maybe this weekend, maybe Saturday or Sunday, going over everything when it comes to discussion pieces, what this means, how it relates, because I know there's a lot of questions that people have, hypothetically speaking, if this is true and what would happen before we get the official information. So I wanted to go over everything in terms of my thoughts in a video later, but just to keep this short and sweet with the information, this is the news for you guys here with this Amazon Mexico listing for a new Nintendo Switch Pro, Nintendo Switch Pro, Nintendo Switch revised model, whatever you want to call it right now at this point. What are your thoughts when it comes to Dragon Quest 3 HD 2D remake, everything that's going on there? What are your thoughts on the new Sonic game and how it's going to be taking a page out of the Breath of the Wild playbook with this new leak slash rumor? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. All right, guys, that wraps it up for this video here. Check out the links in the description. We've got Twitter. Go and give us a follow on there. Stay up to date on all the latest gaming news and information. Also, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and share this video if you can. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll catch you for the next one. Peace.